What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Mina Protocol. A recent publication by Granted the Mina Foundation, combined with some private banks, suggests that CBDCs could be like the regulatory solution for CBDCs could be ZK snarks, which Mina Protocol is utilizes. If that's the case, it could be a game changer for Mina because obviously CBDCs are inevitable. Not that I think any of us want them. But that has relevance to how well Mina can do in terms of price uh, appreciation. So I'm going to take a look at Mina. I think this is one that can still run because it's the world's smallest blockchain. And I'll talk about that in a second. Before I do, if you are new to the channel, guys, these are the first 26 coins that I spoke about when I made the channel. First 26 coins I actually owned as well. Had you put in just $100 into each of these cryptos when I release videos about them, and you ignored them for 2 years, you did everything wrong as an investor. You just bought them and sat on them and went about your life. Even if you'd done everything wrong, you'd still be in profit for 6.3K, which is not bad. Doing everything wrong. But if you'd have sold these coins last year when the markets rocketed up like I did, instead of 6.3K, you could have made 123K. That's the difference between doing the right and the wrong thing. Now, as I said, I sold these off. I don't own these anymore. If you want to see the coins I own, you can go to copymycrypto.com. The link is above and it's in the description. On that site, I share my portfolio. I let the members know anytime I buy or sell a coin. I release videos on a daily basis talking about the markets. I have tutorials set up for people that are brand new to crypto that have never sort of traded before. And guys that have a history of success. No one in 2020 was talking about Phantom. My Udemy course that I did about Phantom was titled The Best Cryptocurrency Investment of 2020, where I said Phantom will 100x or more, and it did 677x. So if you'd put in a grand into Phantom when I did that course, when I released it, and you sold it as high, you'd have been able to buy a very, very nice house. 2 grand, you'd have been a millionaire, 1.3 million. Now, when I find the next Phantom, I'm going to go onto my site, not do a Udemy course. I'm going to go onto my site. I'm going to tell my members about it. I'm going to tell them what I think it can do. I'm going to tell them what percentage of my money I'm putting in, and they can copy along and make the same gains. If that interests you, if you want to take the work out of it for yourself and just copy along, you can do that. Go to the site now, and bear in mind, everything on the site can be verified against the YouTube channel's history, which is nice for you. Anyway, so go check it out, guys. Now, Mina. Mina is currently priced at 45 cents, call it 46. Hit heights of sort of $6.10. It is described as a succinct blockchain. That's how they refer to it. It's basically the world's smallest blockchain. So you bear in mind, Bitcoin's got like a 300 gigabyte blockchain. Mina's network is 22 kilobytes, which is like the difference is staggering. The purpose of Mina, what their main objective was effectively to enable users to natively verify the platform right from Genesis block. And as a result, they use ZK snarks, which are zero knowledge, succinct, non-interactive arguments of knowledge. Now, this is a proof that allows anyone to authenticate information without revealing the actual information. And one thing that we've seen with one thing that is present, unfortunately, on a number of different blockchains is that information can be revealed. If you are to authenticate information, it quite often ends up being revealed, not with ZK snarks. So enabling a user to trace the platform back to its Genesis block can be impractical in a large network. So Mina has incrementally compute snarks that concentrate only on the last few blocks, meaning that end users check that the ZK snarks compress proof instead of an entire history of a blockchain, because that again can take insane amounts of time. So they've constructed the network to be as efficient as possible. As a result, really minimal. As a result, confirmation of transactions is really fast because you're only focusing on the last few blocks, and authentication of information is very fast because you're only confirming the last few blocks as well. And the Mina coin is the utility coin and medium of exchange for the Mina network. And it works kind of like Bitcoin, except of how it handles transactions. And they employ an account model that's used in Ethereum, which is why you've got sort of Mina scan and all these things. But you can't see like you can't see the total amount of wallets or anything. You can see what wallets have done. You can see that in the sort of couple of years that they've been up and running, they've done 2.4 million transactions, um, canonical, that is. And they've been up and running since, yeah, for 18 months. So they've done a lot in a very short space of time. And you can see the transaction fees really minimal as well. And throughput's pretty damn good. Total amount transferred has been 3.4 billion Mina over the course of time, which shows how much like Mina, like how many transactions have really been happening because there's only 787 million. So they've been doing lots of transactions back and forth. This is a good sign for a network that's only been up and running for 18 months. And the key thing about the ZK snarks is what was talked about by um, both Mina and the bank, one of the banks that they were working with, the collaboration. So Mina Foundation worked with Etonic and Private Bank 1796, exploring how a private, fully regulated, regulatory compliant stablecoin can be developed. Etonic released a report indicating that ZK proofs could be the much needed solution. So, in designing a stablecoin, you've got to understand that they have to be privacy preserving, because they do. Like the collaborators wanted to find the most efficient way to develop a privacy preserving and compliant fiat stablecoin. And ZK proofs are probably the solution because ZK proofs allow for funds for the transactions effectively to be private and hidden, with confirmation of information not having to be shared. So ZK proof sufficiently guarantees proper compliance while maintaining pseudonymity. So it's not completely private in the sense of you don't know anything about the person, but you might be able to see a wallet. But you can see a wallet. So the paper gave examples of an operation between theoretical people, Alice and Bob. So Alice and Bob create zero knowledge proofs, proving they have sufficient funds and a practical way of earning monies. ZK proofs are I just moved, sorry. ZK proofs are autonomously shared with the network. The parties don't need to send any confidential info about transactions aside from the fact that they have money. This new format merges decades of global experience in traditional finance payments with modern tech. They noted that they took pointers from the technical functionings of PayPal, merging with emerging tech. So if a CBDC wants to be developed, or there's a need for CBDC to be developed in a particular country, a focus on ZK proofs for the rollout would be beneficial, and you could do that on a network that is smaller, like your Mina, or like, particularly Mina, given that with those short, small blocks, confirmation of transactions can be done at a really fast rate, minimal fees, and that's the key thing with the CBDC. As much as I really don't want them, there is a discussion to be had because banks end up spending a fortune in terms of international bank transfers and everything else. So if you could utilize a network where the fees are minimal, privacy is preserved as much as humanly possible, then you've got a network that could be the backbone of a CBDC. I don't think Mina necessarily is going to be that, but it is positioned well, and it can partner up with plenty of different crypto projects that could provide underlying tech. Mina have a ton of contributors, as a really strong team. You can go through and you can see exactly what they're talking about, the culture that they're trying to push, um, and the values that they're focused on, which is what they share within their site. They have a grant system as well, although I would critique this somewhat and just go, you do need to share what the grants payouts potentially are. Um, the idea that isn't shared directly on the page, or the amount of money that they've got allocated for grants, suggests me it's probably not enough, which is why they've not presented it, hoping that developers will just push and try and come to them anyway. Um, we can actually see a selection of grants that they've had. Um, so Aurora Wallet as an example, and you can see the funds that they've allowed and allocated. Pretty small funds so far, um, in terms of money contributed, but or money given to these projects. I'd want this to improve. Look, Mina is a strong project. Mina team have a decent amount of Mina tokens, to say the least. It's got a strong market cap of 362 million right now. I think they can allocate a few million for development, which they need to do, because it's been around for about a year and a half. It's done some really impressive things, but they need to grow and create an underlying, like an ecosystem around Mina, where we're starting to see um, either DeFi solutions or DEX solutions starting to be introduced to what Mina have, which is a fast, cheap blockchain or fast, cheap network. If they do that, combined with their potential to work with either CBDCs or the projects that work with CBDCs, the team themselves could, really bring Mina to the forefront and get people's attention. Now, it's already backed by Coinbase and Polychain. Granted, 3 Arrows were part and parcel of it, but they're gone, obviously. So I don't know if 3 Arrows have dumped. That's something to bear in mind. I still think this can hit, $10 with relative ease. $10 would put it in a market cap of 7.8 billion, 7.9 billion, by the next in the next bull cycle. Which again, contextually, probably looking at Ethereum being a 5-figure coin. Mina is going to be fully Ethereum virtual machine compatible, and probably we'll have bridges and projects that can work between the two soon enough. So it will garner some more interest from projects and developers outside of that. $10 seems fair, seems reasonable, doesn't seem over the top. 8 billion, roughly 8 billion market cap. And again, you're looking at Ethereum having $1 trillion. You're looking at Binance probably having, 100 billion plus. You're looking at Bitcoin having probably a couple of trillion. So 8 billion doesn't seem too high right now. But again, that's presuming we're not going to see an enormous market crash because of 3 Arrows Capital. I don't know what level of exposure Mina had to that. So that's something people do need to check before they look at investing into Mina, because it could still have a real dump to come. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if you want to see what coins I've been buying up in this bear cycle, the coins that I'm going to continue adding to my portfolio, then go to copymycrypto.com. The link is above me. Where that site is where I share my portfolio. Members get real-time info on when I buy and sell coins. The site has tutorials as well. These are set up for beginners, step by step, so that anyone can get into crypto. Do videos on the market on a daily basis as well, talking about what I'm expecting to happen. And then on top of that, there's a history of success on both the site and the channel, not least of which is obviously Phantom, where I did a Udemy course completely devoted to Phantom, saying it would 100x or more. And it did a 677x. And when I find the next Phantom, I'm going to get onto my site and tell my members all about it, what money I'm putting into it, and they can copy along if they want to. If that interests you, if you're looking at that going, I wish I put 100 bucks in, or I wish I put 1,000 bucks in, wish I put 2,000 bucks in to become a millionaire. There will be others. I will find them. And if you want to hear about them, you got to go onto the site. The link, guys, is in the description. It's above me. Go check it out. Remember, everything that you see on that site, you can verify with the YouTube channel's history. Maybe, guys, I will see you there. Take it easy, folks. Have a lovely day.